Okay, just I'm a little unclear. Are we Republican and Democrats here, Rabbi? I didn't get the message. Okay, that was good. I don't know. I don't really know the difference in elephants and donkeys. Anyway. All right. So I want to share with you one idea, which I just heard such a powerful thing recently. I can't remember who told it to me, but Bli Neder it'll come to me with a big B. Nope. Anyway, whoever told it to me said the following idea. They were quoting, I don't even know if I'm quoting this right, but I think it was Winston Churchill, but maybe it wasn't, once we started politics. And I think he said the following. I don't even know where he said it. Here's the bottom line. He got up and he said the following at a graduation of a school that they used to call something like Poison Ivy or whatever, Ivy League. And this, now it's Poison Ivy. But anyway, it's not bad. Actually, I never thought about it until now. Anyway, so he said the following. Is it cutting in and out? Okay. Hello. What should I do? Should I just stand like... it's probably better to have a mic stand, because then I won't move. But because like this, if you like that, then it stops. What? Say it again. It won't fit in a mic stand?
They won't bring your mic stand? Speaker?
No. Okay, I'll just stand like this. So anyway, he said the following, and he got up in front of a crowd at a school, and he said the following. Usually when you have these school inaugurations or whatever, the end, the commencement, the beginning, the middle, I don't know when they have the speeches because I'm a high school dropout. But the point is that they had the speech, and he gets up and he says, should I just do this? Can you hear me over there or no? Tehillim, you can, yes? Yes, you can hear me. Yes? Shem. Okay. Is it, no, I should, I was going to anyway, so I'm just going to keep talking. You'll get every other word then. Fine. So what happens is he goes ahead and he gets up there, and the speech is usually meant to be something like half an hour, 45 minutes, something. And he gets up and this is the following. He says, never give up. So he gets up and he says, never give up. They're going to have challenges in life. You're going to go through hard things. It's not going to be easy. You're going to go through things that are going to be struggles and all that jazz, but never give up. And then he sat down. That was the entire speech. Never give up. Now, I don't know if they were happy about the fact that they hired him and probably paid him, like tonight, I get like $25,000, whatever it is. That's just the down payment, whatever. Okay, anyway, to make this happen. But the guy spoke for like 10 seconds. However, even though he spoke for 10 seconds, even though he spoke for 10, this is a mic? No. Oh, we don't have the mic. Okay, this is about Torah. All right, as long as it works. So, come closer. Why not get in the film? You know what I'm saying? So, even though he spoke for 10 seconds, at the end of the day, you see how chashuv I am? This isn't stam. How many? Oh, okay. So he got a message across. So everyone's going to remember the fact that he spoke. Oh, everyone's going to remember the fact that he goes ahead. I'm going to have a few of those tonight, I think. Everyone remembers the fact that he said, don't give up, never give up. And I was just thinking about what I'm going to speak about tonight. The title really says it all. That's really what it's about. I really don't like telling you what I'm going to speak about because then everyone gets it before I say it, but I'm just going to tell you very clearly. Unshakable trust. This is the goal. This is really the goal we're trying to achieve. The real goal of here is a connection and a relationship with Hashem to a level. I think an idea actually, reference I did, we actually spoke at BJX in the past. I wasn't in this building though when we did it, but it was at a BJX event. Understanding the concept of what's the goal. Really, the goal is to grow up, and be a baby. That's the goal. The goal is to grow up and be a baby. Now, what does that mean to grow up and be a baby? Because a baby has that incredible connection and trust, has an unbelievable connection and trust with whoever it is that's holding them. It doesn't even matter who it is. They have this incredible trust. On the way here, I flew in this morning, and I was sitting next to somebody, and they had a kid with them. I don't know if it was their kid. I'm not sure. But the point is that the kid was with them. And I think there was a husband and a wife, and it seemed pretty clear.
And the kid was going between them. Obviously, they weren't sitting together. Shalom bayis, whatever. I don't want to get into it. But no, really, it was just the airline. Fine, set it up like that so that you should have shalom bayis. And this kid, must be 2 years old, kept going back and forth, back and forth. And it was an amazing thing that even this kid who was like 2.5, whatever, has no idea who I am, no clue who I am. Yet, when they wanted to go to the mother, the husband stood next to me, their father. So when you go to the mother, the husband, he says, the father says, you want to go to mommy? He goes, yes. So then, she has to go over me to get to the mother. So I put my hands out, and I said, do you want a candy? And I got arrested. Wrong story. I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyway, so what happened is I went out, I put my hands out, and the kid came, lifted them straight up, and then put them down, and it was just like, try to imagine. Someone said a great line once. He said, why do babies cry? Sometimes you see babies walking around in Walmart crying. You know why they cry? Because they went to sleep in their bed and they woke up in Walmart. What would you do? Imagine you went to sleep in bed, you wake up, you're in Walmart, and suddenly there's somebody changing you. Like, what's happening? This is like a crazy thing. But the kids, they don't care. They give total trust. They don't care. They give total trust. And there's a connection over there. I don't know if you hear me anymore. But this is this connection, this relationship that's there, that's inbred. Such a high level that we want to reach over here, and that is grow up and be a baby. Get to the level where we can be that baby again, that we have the complete and unbreakable connection, relationship. I trust them so much. I trust my parents. I trust whoever it was, my guardian, whoever is taking care of me. What a level it is to go and to live. And I want to share with you a story. And I didn't write the title to this class. I didn't. I'm not going to say who did it. But somebody else put the title, whoever it was, and when they did it, anyway, I was just like, this is amazing. What's so amazing? Because we didn't talk about it, and thank you so much. And I saw the title. I had to verify it. I had to confirm it. Anyway, I'm looking at the title, and I just saw a story brought down in a little pamphlet called, I'm not sure. I think it's called Mesila or Mesilot. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's definitely originally in Hebrew. And then they translated it into English. I shouldn't say definitely. I don't know. It looks to me by the two rabbis on the front cover, from my judgmental racial profiling, that it was originally in another language, and then they translated it into English. Okay, it's Parsha Shalach. And the title of the article, I wish I had a picture of it, so I can actually show that I'm not messing with you here, but I just forgot what the name of this is. It's called Unshakable Trust. That is the title of the article that I just read. And I want to tell you a story that is found in the first page. This year, Parsha Shalach Mesil, you can look it up yourself. The story is about a Rebbe by the name of Rabbi Gavriel Michal, who is known as the Maggid of Zlotchev. The Maggid of Zlotchev. Now, what's the story with the Maggid of Zlotchev? This is I think it's amazing. I personally very much wish that I connected with it on the level that I should, but I love this story. The story, and it kind of sums everything up. It's the whole thing, so I really should sit down soon. But it goes as follows. There was a chassid who came, one of his followers, came. You have the Hasidim, right? You say Hasidim or Hasidim too. And the chassid is the follower of the rabbi, of the Rebbe. And this Rebbe was Rabbi Gavriel Michal, and he had a bunch of people with him. And one day he was talking about the idea of trusting in God. You got to trust in God. And this chassid, this student, he was sitting there and he said, Rabbi, you should know, I don't need to hear this. I'll stay where I am. It's okay. I'm saying, you're bleeding out there. Yeah, this time, you can relax a little. I'm here. I'll stand. So anyway, the story goes that he had this Talmud, this chassid, and when he said it, you don't have to tell me about trusting in God. I've hit the highest levels of trusting God. The highest levels of trusting God. So the Rebbe, he didn't want to say, he just smiled. He smiled at him. At the end of the talk, he came over to the rabbi and he says, Rabbi, what do you gave me a little smirk over there. What's the, you don't believe? I'm telling you, the highest trust in God. So he says to him, listen, if you want to know what it means to have the highest levels of trust in God, if you want to understand what that is, there's a guy you have to go meet. This fellow lives in this town, and you go to his house, stay with him for as long as it takes, study his every move, and then you're going to get to understand what it means, this concept of trusting in God. Then you'll understand what it means. Did I get the full sentence out? Then you'll understand what it means. Okay, I'm not sure if that's... Then you'll get it. So he says, okay, if the Rebbe goes, the rabbi says, I'm going to go, I'll travel. I'll check what I got to do. I got to go hang out with this rich person, and he's a wealthy person. I'll go there and check it out. So he goes to, he travels, he gets there. It takes him however long it takes him. That's how usually things work. And when he gets there, he's taken by this beautiful home. But that's not even the main thing. The main thing is when he walks in, it's a Reshus Harabim Mamish. Okay. What does that mean? Public domain, open. People are walking in, they're walking out. One thing when you find these dignitaries, these very wealthy people, businessmen and whatever, they're coming into the wealthy guy and he's signing documents and they're closing deals and they're doing their shtickletayed and the Chazaq and Yodalden and everything's happening. But the thing that really takes his mind away, the thing that really impresses him is not just the dignitaries that walk in, that are walking in with such, but rather can't move. But what happened? The thing that really gets him is that there are poor people. I feel like I'm trying to get service. Like you're trying to, hello. Yeah, that's it, right there. So what happens is he sees the poor people are coming in and they're treated with the same respect, the same honor and respect that the dignitaries are receiving. And they're given places, people are sleeping there. There are people that are eating, there's food set up, unbelievable setup. Fine, he's going through this whole thing, he's watching, he's impressed. He walks over to the man of the house, to the rich man, and he says, listen, I'm here on business, I have something I have to accomplish. I'm going to be here for a little bit. Do you have a place for me? He says, of course, be our guest, you put our service to the test. It's going to be good. Tie a napkin around your neck, Shari, we'll provide the rest. Shoot whatever, 100 dirhams. So we only live to serve. So he goes ahead, he says, try the great stuff. And, okay, I happen to know all the ways, so I'm not going to do it now. But the point is, he goes, it's delicious, don't believe me, has the dishes, they can sing, they can dance, they're all friends, they're our second best, okay? We got a lot to do. Is it one lump or two? Anyway, be our guest. So, life is so unnerving, first servant who's not serving. So he goes ahead and he says, no problem. He gives him like a really nice room. You know what I love about Hashem? So many things. One of the things I love is if I don't have enough material, he'll just mess with things so that the speech will go okay. Okay, we'll see. Does it go higher? Because I could just stand like this. I guess I'll just do this. Shem Yazar. B'siyata d'shmaya. Oh, is it going to fall?
It's making new content.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay. Hello. Okay. Oh, no. Welcome to the presidential debate. So he goes ahead and he says, be my guest, no problem. He gives him a nice place, beautiful room. You have your own space. They just cut out again. You have your own space. It must be my head movement. That's what's doing it. Fine. So he goes ahead and he's thinking. And he's watching him day in, day out. And he's seeing amazing things. This guy is incredible. He's an amazing a host. He's he's helping people out like crazy. He's giving charity. He's amazing. Unbelievable. But there's nothing he sees in the realm of bitachon, of trust, of trusting God. This is his thing. He's like, I'm in the highest level of trust, of bitachon. And he says, yeah, let's see. Look at this guy. You'll see. I'm sure he's great, but I don't see anything. All I'm seeing is the fact that he's helping out people and giving. But that's now I feel like a real loser because that I can't do. I'm not wealthy. Like, what do you want from me? That's the message you wanted me to see, that I don't give tzedakah, I don't give charity. I give, but I can't give like this. I'm not rich. Okay, fine. After a few weeks, he finally realizes he's not getting anything here. He packs up his stuff. He goes to the wealthy guy, and he says to him, listen, I really want to thank you for hosting me. I'm going to be on my way, but thank you very much. So he says to him, tell me, did you finish the job? Like you came here for a reason. You said you have some important business to take care of. maybe you could tell me, did you finish? Did you do what you had to do? He said, yeah, no. He couldn't lie. He couldn't bring himself to lie. His whole mission there was to find the trust in God from this guy. He didn't want to call him out and be like, bro, like, you're not so great. So he's like, no. No. So he says, what? Because you didn't, he's like, not really, like, actually, no, I didn't exactly finish what I didn't finish. So he's like, He gets up, he goes to the door, he locks the door, he sits down across from him, he looks right into his eyes, he says, I have a taina against you, I have a claim against you. The rich guy is now going to this chassid and saying, I have a problem with you. He's like, whoa, you have a problem with me? What'd I do? He's like, yeah, I have a problem with you. You come to my home, you come to my home, and you tell me you have some important business to take care of, so I leave you alone. I give you a room, I give you space, no one bothers you, you should accomplish it. But now you're telling me that you've been here for a week or 2 weeks or whatever it is, and you didn't accomplish it, and you didn't even come over to me to ask for help. I have a tine on you. Why didn't you come and ask me? I would have helped you. That's not fair that you shouldn't give me the opportunity to help you. So he's very moved. He says, okay. He's like, if you really want to, okay, I'll tell you. He's like, yeah, tell me, yeah. He said, okay, I'm a student of the Maggid of Zlotchev. And he told me to come to you. And that you are a person who has ridiculous levels of trust in God. And that's why I'm here, to learn from your trust in God. But to tell you the truth, I really didn't see it. So I don't even understand what's so good about you. The guy immediately turns red in the face and he puts his head, he looks down. He can't even look at the guy. So he's like embarrassed. And after about a minute, he shakes it off twice. And he says, listen, I don't know your rabbi personally. And I don't know how he knows what he knows. But obviously, the Lord Almighty, let it be known that I'm actually, it's true. I do have a tremendous amount of trust in God. Tremendous amount of trust in God. But I never told anyone about it. And I try to hide it. No one should even know. But Mishamayim, for whatever reason, God decided He wanted your rabbi to know, and your rabbi is telling you, it must be that I'm supposed to show you. So I'm going to show you. But you can't tell anyone. I tell this sort of my kids, of course, they say, well, he told, obviously. I'm saying, because now we know, Anyway, so he goes and he says, but he can't tell. He says, okay. He says, okay, listen. As you have seen over the past few weeks, my home, Rishos HaRabim, it's open, public domain. Anyone can come and go as they please. It's pretty much open everywhere. There's only one room that's not open to anyone, not even my workers, my servants, my whatever. Nobody can go in that room, and that is the vault. I'm the only one that goes in the vault. I'm the only one with the key. I'm the only one that goes to do my business. I'm the only one who takes care of what I got, take care of I'm the only one. He says, okay. He says, I want to show you, though. I want you to come with me. I want you to see my riches. He says, okay. Now he's getting excited. He never saw somebody saying, what? So they go into it. He puts the key and he turns it, opens it, opens the door. He says, come on inside. He comes in, shuts the door. I'm not sure what the last noise was. He closes the door. The guy's looking around. He's shocked. The room was filled, floor to ceiling, filled with nothing. Nothing. It was empty. There were only 4 things in the room. A table, a chair, a ledger, which is like a notebook, and a quill, which is a pen. A table, a chair, a notebook, and a pen. That's all that was in the room. So he says to him, go ahead, look around. Find my riches. So the guy says, looking at the corner, he's trying to open the things. There's a trap door, there's something. After 2-3 minutes of doing it, he let him have his fun. He then says, okay, I'm going to help you out a little. There's nothing in this room. exactly what you see is what you get. There's no money here. So clearly the guy doesn't understand. So he says to him, let me explain something to you. I have no money. None. I have nothing. I have zero. Whatever money I get through the day, whatever I get money through certain deals or whatever it is, I make sure by the time I go to bed, before I go to bed, I give away every last penny. I have nothing. The only thing that I have is the table, the chair, the ledger, and the pen. That's it. And what I do every day when I have business dealings, I come into this room and I write down just to make sure to verify. When someone wants the IOU, I write them, I do a big business deal, and it's on credit. And I owe them whatever the money I owe them. I write it down in this notebook to make sure that when they come to collect, that I can just make sure no one's pulling a fast one on me, and I could double up and check it. And then I go ahead and then I come in this room, I close the door, and I look up to Shamayim, and I look up to the heavens, and I say, Hashem, God, you know that I have nothing. And you know that all the money that I make, I give away to charity. I am left with zero. I owe this person money. If you could please send me the money to be able to pay this person back, I'd really appreciate that. It has never failed me. This has failed me. It has never failed me, and it never will. As soon as I ask for the money, within a few minutes, I get the money. And I pay the person back. Why would I hold on to money for tomorrow? How do I even know if I'm going to have the money tomorrow? If I'm even going to live tomorrow? So why would I waste my time having to guard it and be careful with it? And as the verse says, Li kesef v'li azav num Hashem. To me is the money, is the kesef, is the silver. Li azav, to me is the gold. So spoketh the Lord. So why would I hold on to this? Isn't it much easier just to let God take care of my bills? Never failed me, and it never will. I have 100% trust, unshakable trust, that God is going to take care of me. The guy was speechless. He's looking at the treasure. He's been in every other room in the house. He knows that this was the treasure room. This is it, and there's nothing in there. So the guy says, I know this is a lot to take in, and maybe it's hard for you to believe. I want you to hang out with me today. You're going to see it yourself. Come with me. So they go out. He opens the door. He closes it. Locks it up. There's nothing in there. Table, chair. And they go into the reception area. When he gets there, there's somebody waiting there. And the guy who's waiting there, he says, how can I help you? He said, I'm here to collect on a debt. He said, how much is it? He takes up the debt and he shows us an IOU for 5,000 rubles. And they have to understand, with inflation today, it's like 10,000 rubles. Okay, it's a lot of rubles. It's many rubles. I don't know what a ruble is, but it's a lot. And what happens? He goes ahead and he says, 5,000 rubles. He says, okay, I'm just going to go back to my office to just verify this. If you just wait a moment, you can have some food, enjoy it. Everyone loved to collect money from him because they would go and pound that, schmorg. So this is okay. He goes back to the room, check it out, see what's going on. That guy goes to have some food, and the chassid, the student there, is just sitting there. He's like, I don't even know what's happening. About a minute later, in walks a very distinguished looking fellow, dressed in a uniform. He looks like he's important and in a rush. And he's looking around, he's waiting impatiently. Finally, after a few minutes, the master of the house comes back. And this very distinguished looking fellow looks at him, he says, are you so-and-so? He says, yes, I am. He said, I have a very important business matter to talk about with you. He said, sure, what is it? He looks over at the chassid, at this Hasidic Jew, and he says, So then the rich guy goes, it's okay, it's my business associate. You can speak freely. What would you like to say? He said, listen, I'm a general in the Navy. I just got called out. I got to go out for a mission. I'm going to be out for a few months. I have with me 10,000 rubles. And I don't trust anyone. I have no one I could trust. I have no family to leave it with. Last time I left it with my wife, it was Prime Day. I have nothing. I can only use that joke once a year. It's like, this is it. It's over. Got a whole other year. I think. Is it a year? It's like every year. It's like Black Friday or whatever. Anyway, when is that? I need to soon. Okay. So I have no one to leave it with. Can I heard you're a very distinguished person. You're a very big business guy. I would love to leave the money with you. And when I come back, if you can repay me. And you could use it for whatever you need in the meantime, whatever business dealings you have, use it, but then pay me afterwards. So the guy says, absolutely. He says, for your troubles, I'll pay you 10%. I'll give you 1,000 rubles. So he says, okay. Is that Alexa? What was that? So he says, okay. So what does he do? They write an IOU for 9,000 rubles. He's giving him 1,000. And the guy says, thank you, and he leaves. He calls in the other guy from the shmorg, who's eating all that food. And he's like, sir, I owe you the 5,000. Here's the 5,000 rubles. Thank you so much. And please send regards to your, to your employer, employee, whatever it is. He says, okay, thank you so much, and he leaves. Chassid is watching this. He saw the whole thing happen from start to finish. The guy has zero money. He owes 5,000 rubles. He's not stressed. There's no anxiety. There's no pressures. It's totally like chilling, illin like a very good. And what does he do? He goes off. He says, Lord Almighty, I need it. Help me out. Yeah. Comes back. Boom. Another guy walks in, gives him money, and now he has 5,000 rubles to spare. 1,000 he gets to keep. Another 4 he can put it to bid. This is like, what just happened over here? So the guy says, listen, I think this is what your rabbi wanted you to see. So maybe, I hope you could learn from this idea, take it home, and realize that trust in Hashem, trust in God. God's got it. It's okay. He's taking care of you. He's taking care of you. Everything's good. Just trust in Hashem. It's all going to be good. All going to be good. So this guy's like, wow. 3 times, wow. Thank you so much. And he turns around to leave. He has his stuff with him. He's about to leave. Before he leaves, he turns around. And he says, I'll tell you the truth, I'm a little embarrassed. I'm a little embarrassed to say this, but I actually, because I was here for longer than expected, I actually have no money to even get back to where I'm staying. Hey. So he's like, maybe you could help me out a little. Except it's not fair if this is recording. The guy goes, slaps the table. Not that I was in the room, he had 2 tables. And he goes, you failed your first test. Why are you asking me for money? What did I just show you? You got to throw it on God. Throw it on, and He'll take care of you. Why are you coming to me? But you already asked. Okay, so he counts out the money, he gives it to him, he says, I hope now you learned your lesson. And he goes back and he tells his rabbi about the whole thing. His rabbi says back to him, now you can maybe understand that maybe there's some levels we could still aspire to reach and get towards. Inevitably, someone is thinking the following. That's the story. The thought process, it's a story, you see, on Shabbos, it's nice, it's a good story, it's so nice. I'm saying, can we be practical for a minute here? This is ridiculous. What kind of story is that? So I told this story last Shabbos at my Shabbos table. It's also for those who don't call it Shabbos, Shabbat, same holiday. Last Shabbat, say it.
My favorite day of the week.
Oh, amazing. I like both of them. I like Shabbat and Shabbos. Okay? Shabbos. That's it. Okay, you Ashkenazis. Sabbath. So what happens? I said this last week at my table, and one of my kids comes to me and says, and I could see, I saw the look come, so I was like, hold on. Let me finish the story. If you get negative on me, guys, relax. And I was like, come on, it's a nice story, but practically speaking, We have to, what does it mean? Who can live like this? Who can live with such an idea? I said, I don't understand what your problem is. You're asking who can live with this idea that you just trust you'll be taken care of, and when you need something, you just ask for it and it's done? And she goes, yeah. I said, well, what about you? Don't you live like that? Don't you live in a home? Don't you have everything that you need? Isn't it every time you need something, you come and you ask God? You come and you ask, and you get it? Okay, once in a while, I'm like, really? 200 shekel for water? And that's like, are you sure that's what you're buying? You know? Okay, so maybe sometimes I'll ask. But don't you, for the most part, get almost anything and everything you need when you even ask for it? No, because you're thinking about when you grow up. And when you leave this cocoon called bitachon, trust. You understand the whole experience of growing up in a home. Now, of course, there's always exceptions to this. And I don't know what the exception, I'm not a therapist, but I'm saying, unless you pay enough, I'll be whatever you need. But I'm saying, you understand, like, I don't know if I had more to say there, but the point is, everyone has their stuff, experience, etc. But in the general understanding of what it means to be a parent, and if you didn't grow up with that, at least you want to be that, or you are that. Listen carefully to what I just said. And if you didn't grow up with that, at least you want to be that, or you are that. That's an important line there. Because those who didn't grow up with that loving home where it was so beautiful, maybe it wasn't at all. Maybe it was terrible, or if anyone went through such a thing, God forbid, but if it was, it was. And you're trying to look for this model to understand, how am I going to understand God in this way? The answer is, okay, so then look at it from inward. In other words, how do you want to take care of your children, even if you're not practically doing it? But you know the reason why you're not practically doing it, if you actually have children, is because of the fact that you have things you need to work out. Okay, but the point is still, you want to do the right thing, and you try to do the right thing. Understand, you think, what does God want to do for us? We all understand that concept. That's the whole purpose of the structure, of that family structure, is to understand that there's someone who's taking care of us and is there and is taking care of everything all of the time. Okay, but you expect us to get to such a level? The answer is, that's not maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't want to get into my expectations of who you are and what you are. But should we strive for this? I mean, should we just strive for it? Say it. We should strive for it. We should strive for an idea that we can actually have this relationship and this connection with the creator of the world in a way that I'm totally good. Essentially, what is the whole purpose of it? What's the purpose? I was just reading before I came here. I saw Davening Mincha, and I saw, right before I started, I saw there was a sefer there written by Rav Wolkin. It was a Rav in Eretz Yisrael who just passed away about maybe a year ago. And I knew him personally, lived not far from where I live. My son had a relationship with him. And he was talking about the whole purpose of the Torah is to learn bitachon. That's the purpose. To have trust in God. This rock solid trust where I'm connected with God in a way that I'm going to be good. Now, does it mean that everything that we see always seems to be good? The answer is no, of course not. There are things that look like they're not so good. They can be challenging and hard sometimes. But to recognize the fact that Hashem is taking care of us. The Chafetz Chaim, and I've said this before, I'll say it again now, and maybe another time if I'm zocheh to. Chafetz Chaim says, the Chafetz Chaim explains, he was a great rabbi, for those that don't know. Chafetz Chaim, Rabbi Yisrael Meir Cohen Kagan, he died in 1933, just to understand what we're talking about. He said, bitachon, trusting in God, is not about the future, it's about the past. In other words, it is ultimately about trusting for the present and moving forward, but how do you get that? By looking in the past. In other words, you're here, you're alive, He took care of you, He has a decent track record. I would say an amazing track record. And not only that, somebody came over to me and they said, oh yeah, but what about the bad things? My life is terrible and I went through this and that and the other. I said, I just have one question for you. Are you willing to tell me that even based off your own perception, that if you were to put on a scale the experiences that you've had in your life, You have positive and negative. Are you telling me the negative experiences will outweigh the positive ones? And I'm not asking the way you felt about it emotionally. I'm saying just stop for a moment because yes, sometimes something can feel like this is the worst thing ever that could ever be. And at that moment you really do feel that. I'm not taking that away. But what I am saying is stop for another moment. Just process that information just a little bit. I didn't notice. Process that information a little bit. And then come to understand that, wait a minute, you know what? Maybe it's not as bad as I thought. And if you put it on the scale, you start to see maybe more good has happened to me than bad. And you know what? Maybe a lot more good has happened to me than bad. And maybe, now I know there's always going to be someone who comes after, it's not true. So not you. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. But everyone else. Does it mean there aren't things that are challenging? There are things that are challenging. Of course there are things that are challenging. But understand that Hashem knows what he's doing. He's got it. He's got it. He's done this before and he's doing it again. And all he wants is for our absolute best, the top of the top. We actually spoke once, I think, I don't remember anymore where it was, but I've definitely said this and I have a recollection that the letters BJX pop into my head at the time. That about the concept, I think it was around Purim time. This week's Parsha is one of my favorite Parshas of the Torah. The rabbi spoke about it on the political agenda forum. I'm going to say it from another angle. I absolutely love Parshas Balak. Why do I love Parshas Balak? What is it? It's extraordinarily strange. The entire Parsha, the entire portion of this week that we're going to read, is about two non-Jewish people talking to each other on how can we kill the Jews. That's the whole thing. And then at the end we do bad stuff and we get, a lot of people die. But before we get to that part, almost the whole thing is like you got this guy Bilam, this guy Balak, and they come together and he said, let's curse the Jewish people, let's do bad stuff. It's strange. The Jewish people are a side point. They're just like totally on the side. The whole thing is about how two guys are trying to kill us. That's the whole parsha. Now, why is that my favorite parsha? Besides being why is that my favorite parsha? Because this is just an example. The Torah wants to teach us. You think that it's only once in a while? It's all the time people are trying to kill us. I mean, we see that now openly. It's becoming a lot more overt. But even in a state of overt, it's incredibly covert. What do I mean by that? And this is a point that I shared, and I'm going to share a new point that I just heard the other week, 2 weeks ago. The pasuk says, we say it in Tehillim, we say it by Hallel. The words are Hallelu Hashem kol goyim, shabachu kol ha'umim, ki gavar aleinu chasto ve'emes Hashem. Hallelujah. What do those words mean? For those who don't speak Hebrew, I just said hash. I'll translate. Hallelujah Hashem kol goyim means, how do you say hallelujah in English? Praise. How do you say shabachu? Praise and praise. How do you say it? Praise? Praise and praise? What is hallelujah? Praise. What is shabachu? Praise. Okay, so I don't know either. But what is it? Anyway, hallelujah Hashem kol goyim. What it means is that all the goyim, a goy is a nation. Hallelujah Hashem kol goyim. What is goyim? What's umim? You guys are so good. Hallelujah Hashem kol goyim shabachu kol umim. Now everyone can go home and look it up and try to figure it out. Read Rav Hirsch and come back. I might not be here when you come back. All the nations of the world give Hallel and the Mishabeach. They're praising the Lord Almighty. Ki gavar aleinu chasto, because the chesed of Hashem, the kindness of Hashem has done for us. What do you mean, Hallelujah Hashem kol goyim? What does that mean that all the nations of the world are praising God? What about us? Why the nations of the world? Answer is, because all the nations of the world, they're the ones who are trying to constantly destroy us. So they're the ones who get to see how much God is saving us. We don't see it because we don't even know they're trying. For every story you hear there was an attack or an attempted attack, there are 1,000 others that we don't even hear about because the plans are thwarted. There was an example given recently before I started speaking. I'm not getting onto a horse or a donkey. Choose whatever animal you'd like. Not sure if that sounded okay, but the point is I'm not getting into it. Even if you don't like, just take a look and see what happened. They tried to go and kill the presidential. It's crazy. I didn't even process the information until the next day. I was like, oh, they tried to kill him. He didn't die. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. But the next day I was like, wait a minute. He's the guy who's running against the other guy. I don't remember the guy's name. He's running against him. That's unbelievable. You kill your opponent, mommy. That's brilliant. And what did he do? The guy, what did Trump do? He did the thing, he went like that. You know? It's a very sophisticated jiu-jitsu move. Like that, you know? My daughters have been doing that for years. I put this on. No. Who would have known that would save your life? Unbelievable thing. Oh, so that we saw. You know how many other attempts are happening all the time? Very often there are attempts to kill presidents and dignitaries and big people. There are many attempts. We don't hear about them. I saw this documentary on the beast. What's the beast? The limousine that the president uses. It's called the beast. I wish I would sound really cool if I could say all the facts. You know, like, it's got 7-inch windows that can withstand neurodynamics in flesh and two-tier bullets that can hollow point 12 diameter. I don't know. But the point is, it's got crazy bulletproof stuff. If someone tries to detonate a bomb by the beast, it won't work. You know why? Because there's another van that they have that goes in front of it that jams all the signals in the area. If you're ever talking on the phone and you think, beep, beep, goes by and all of a sudden you're not talking on the phone anymore, it's because you probably someone stole your phone. But another reason is because they jammed the signal. It's crazy stuff that's going on there. People try all the time. Hallelu Hashem kol goyim, shabachu kol ha'umim. They're the ones who are going and praising God all the time because they see how much they're trying to harm us, and Hashem is there all the time saving us. As these two guys are standing there, Bilam and Balak, in this week's portion, discussing how can we kill the Jews are on the side and they have no idea what's even happening. We have no idea it even happened. If not for the Torah telling us, we would never know the story. And this is not a story that we're talking about that happened years and years and thousands and millions and billions and trillions. This is a story that happened today to us outside. We have no idea how many people are trying, what they're trying to do. Bitachon, bitchu b'Hashem, trusting in Hashem. Hashlich al Hashem ya'avecha. But I want to share with you a new piece that I heard, which goes straight to the heart of a person who says, well, listen, I do have hard challenges in my life. I do go through hard things. I thought Hashem's going to protect me, take care of me, and do everything that's good for me, and He loves me. How come the things that I want He's not giving, and how come He's not helping me out? What about those? Fine, yes, you're right. You weigh at the scales, it'll be more good than bad. But the bad ones can sometimes feel like they equal the good or overpower the good. So what about those? What are those? Ki gavar aleinu chasto. What does that mean, ki gavar aleinu chasto? That is a very strange terminology. What it should have said is, Ki nasan aleinu chasto. He gave to us chesed, kindness. What's the lashon? What's the terminology in Hebrew of gevil? What does it mean? Thank you. Gever means a man. It comes from a word of gevura. What's gevura? Strength, might, power. Gavar aleinu means he was strengthened over us. Strengthened over us? What does that sentence even mean? A Rav in Eretz Yisrael runs a seminary. His name is Rabbi Fix. Shlita. Some of you may know by the gasp in the crowd. So if Noam Fix just shared with me 2 Shabbosim ago the following idea. Ki gavar aleinu chasto. What does that mean? Gavar aleinu. It means sometimes God has to force us to accept kind acts. Because we're looking at what's happening to us as this bad thing. You say, God, why would you do this? And we try to say, don't do this. This is bad. And God's like, you fool. This is so good for you. But you're not accepting it, so I have to force it on you. Ki gavar aleinu chasto. Imagine the most simple example which is used and overused, of a child that's getting frustrated that a parent is not letting them go run and play in their little play area. They have a play area. It's called a freeway. It's a huge open space where they get to see all different cars and trucks, and they can frolic with motorcycles, and they can have a great time. And this parent is not letting them enjoy their life because they're holding them back with force. Ki gavar aleinu chasdo. Hashem is forcing us to take chesed. The emes Hashem, look at that. The truth is all to Hashem. It's all this is the best thing for us. So number one, recognize, like we started off in the beginning, the goal, Hashechal Hashem, to get to such a level of this rich man, quote unquote, who wasn't rich. He had nothing, but he was the richest in the world because he was the most connected. He understand, what would you rather have? What would you have? $1 million in an account, right? Or God's credit card. You understand? This guy's living with God's credit card. That's it. Totally chill. The feeling of serenity, of calm, of relaxation. Okay, so then maybe we're not on a level. We should try to get there. But at the very least, whatever level we're on, even if we're going to work and we're involved in doing, to recognize, where does that come from? I think we're the ones who are doing everything. We're the ones who are getting it. And when someone else goes ahead and they come and they affect us in some way, understand, what do you think? All these people, who are the people in the world? The rabbi said before, he mentioned chess, about pawns. Who are all these people there in the world? It's all pawns. Don't tell that to your loved one. And you go home and say, Mom, just want to let you know, you're just a pawn. I'm the queen. Right? Don't tell them. It's between us. But they're all pawns. Besides you, the whole world are pawns. Besides you, the whole world are pawns. That's it. Just move on. What does that mean? I saw such a powerful idea from the Orchos Tzadikim. Orchos Tzadikim writes in Shar Simcha. It's a great book. I don't know how to translate it. The ways of the righteous, I guess. Orchos Tzadikim. And in the gate called the gate of happiness. Thank you. Felicidad. And in the Puerta Felicidad, he speaks about the concept of when people impact us and they do something to us, that we need to come to recognize Harbe Shluchim Lamakom. There are many different messengers from God. And every person that comes into our life is a messenger of some sort. And they do something to us which is not good. Realize who is the Mishaleach, not the Shaliach. Who is the one who sent the messenger, not the actual messenger. Oh, and by the way, if they do something good for us, to recognize who is the one who sent that person, not the one who did. Yes, we should thank them, and that's true, and we should thank you so much, but to recognize where it came from. And he gives an example. Gives an example, which I think is a powerful mashal, parable example, understanding the idea, allegory. It says the following. Imagine you have somebody who is blind. They cannot see. Physically blind. I'm not saying like metaphorically. They cannot see. So they put their hand on the shoulder of a person who's guiding them. When they get to the destination, what are they going to say to the guide? Go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for guiding me. So the one who is guiding will say, the one who is being guided, the blind person, we're going to call this person, just for argument's sake, number 41. So number 41 says to the one guiding him, we're going to call him number 40. You might be able to see where this is going, if you can count. So he says to number 40, thank you so much for guiding me. So number 40 says, what? Yeah, thank you so much, I'm blind. So number 40 says, I'm also blind. He goes, what? So how did you guide me? Oh, I was holding on to Mr. 39. So well, let's thank him. Mr. 39, thank you so much. And he goes, for what? For guiding. I can't see. Until they get to number 1. And they say to number 1, or number 2, thank you so much. And number 2 is being led by number 1. Who's number 1? The only one out of all those 41 people. I don't know why I said number 41, but that's just the number that came up. I didn't want to say 42 because that's the classic number, 42, whatever. So he comes out and says, what? Number 1 was the only one that could see and was leading everyone. 41, all down till number 2, have to think only number 1. Okay, you can say thank you to the person in front of you, person in front of you, person in front of you. The one that's right in front of me that impacts me, for good, for bad, it doesn't matter. It's all coming from Hashem. Halavai, if only I would live up to this. Don't you dare accuse me of living up to this. I'd like to get there someday, which is why you're here, so me to speak about my issues. And then maybe along the way you'll also change. Or maybe you'll change and I'll change along the way too. That is to come to recognize Harbe Shluchim L'Makom, and all of them are coming from the original one. The original in our case is Hashem. Kol Ma David Rachmanu L'Tav, everything Hashem does is for the best. Everything. Everything. Every experience that we have, every circumstance we find ourselves in, this is all for our absolute best. The goal is to be able to get that. So let's do a quick recap. Tell them I'll call him back after. We had to do a quick recap of what we did. I don't know if the mic's going to hold still for this one. End up with 1 point, then we're done. So we started off in the beginning, this title that I didn't pick, that was picked for me, but it comes out, the idea of Unshakable, check it a little further and say, I go read the story, we're going to Rabbi Gavriel Friedman comes in the Maggid, it was lot show, comes and said, what happens, good, is the highest level of trust. What are you talking about, that's level of trust? How are you talking about? You really want to know trust, you got to go to this rich guy. So he goes to the rich guy, he's telling me 2, everything's coming, then really nothing, he said, 1, puts his head down and back, look at it, fine, God told you, must be, I don't know. He goes, come to my thing, and he checks it, was filled with nothing except for 4 things: a table, a chair, a ledger, and a quill. Good words. I don't know what those mean, but yes. And what happens? He says after he's done nothing of you, when he watches the guy goes in 5,000 rubles, 10,000 rubles of inflation, 5,000 rubles, and goes to the guy walks to the guy, 10,000, 1,000, go bring 9,000, go you finally goes, what? Can I get 200 ruble? Oh man, you failed the test. But that's not practical. But you live like it. You come to me, you ask for the money, I give it to you. None of you guys, but I'm saying, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But my daughter comes and gives it, and I take care of you, do everything, whatever. And if you don't have an idea, but what do you want to do to your kids? We have an idea for this. What do we do to other people there? This is a concept to come to recognize and realize and to think HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to see bitachon, trust. Look at the track record. We're alive. Weigh it up. But there's much more. There's much more good than there's bad. Something feels like, fine, I got that. But I said we're going to go with the way now. How we're going to get a little further. Realize what happened in this parasha. Hashem is always taking care of us. Always taking care of us. But there's 2 people that try to kill us all the time. Same idea over here, we're saying all the time. And what does Trump do again? With this high level move? Recognize it, and then goes and saves his life. Saves his life. Just saves his life. I'm waiting for the remix. You're like, boom, 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 boom. Saves his life. Unbelievable thing. Hashem's doing all. Hashem kol goyim. That's why praise. Nations. All the time. Ki gavar lenu chasa. What does it mean praise? Why are they the ones doing? Because they're the ones who don't want anything. They're the ones trying to kill us. What does that mean? As Rabbi Fix comes and he says, Ki gavar lenu chasa. It means that the Lord Almighty's got to force it on us to go to accept us and you have kindness. Because yes, sometimes you don't let your kid play in the middle of the freeway. Not all the time, but sometimes you don't let them play. And you force them to actually have a great life. You force them to understand that. You say, well, okay, but what about the fact that things are bad happening in my life? Everything that happens to us is a message from Hashem. And realize the fact that anyone is doing anything, it's all from Hashem. For good or for bad, for positive, for negative. That's really what it all is. Because Hashem, we should get to such a level, target to reach it. 41 is 40 and 39 and 38. I don't know how to count it more. But it goes down to one that's the only one you actually see. It's the blind leading the blind, leading the blind, ultimately led by Hashem. That's the ultimate concept that killed it or something. And really to come to that message, to really recognize this idea. How do we do it? So I've said this, I'm going to say it over and over again. I even brought it with me to give you a little presentation to show you. This book over here, this is a book called Sha'ar Bitachon. It stands for, it means in English, the gate of trust. You'll say, I don't read Hebrew. That's why it's English. It's in English. It's translated in English. This particular edition, the Art School edition, Jaffa edition. Art School edition of the gates of trust. You'll say to me, but I don't speak English. I'll say, then how do you understand me? And if you really don't, so then, okay. But if you really do, this is the book you got to read. You got to read this book. This is only one chapter of a bigger book. But it goes step by step building. Step by step building and learning, understanding. What does that mean to trust in Hashem? What are the benefits of it? How can we get there? What steps can we take? Everyone says, nice class, but how do I grow from it? The answer is, this is how you grow from it, practically speaking. Practically speaking, go through this. We have to remind ourselves, because many of us know these ideas already, but we forget them. We forget them. We have to remind ourselves. Understand the fact. Bitchu b'Hashem. Hashechal Hashem Yahavachavu Yichal Kaleka. Start recognizing that even though I might not be on that level of the quote-unquote rich man, at least I'm on a level to recognize that the things that I am doing, my hishtadlut, my hishtadlus, my effort that I'm putting in, realize the fact I'm just doing my part, and God's really the one who's taking care of everything. The goal, my friends, like we said, is grow up and be a baby. Grow up and be a baby. Wake up in Walmart and cry. But then recognize that your parent's there. And then you could stop crying. Then ask for one of those little snack things with like applesauce. The squeeze packs. And then everything is good. Just to leave us with a blessing. And by us, I mean this is for me. You could listen. I bless me. And those are here. That we should all at least be working towards, do something. And then with God's help, be able to get to a level where we can all grow up, be a baby, have complete, unshakable trust in a way where we have lives of meaning, of purpose, of serenity, of peace, and ultimately of connection. Thank you so much for coming, and good night.